Hello everybody, Jack here, back with another hockey video. Today we'll be going over the Western Conference playoff outlook and then the Stanley Cup champion. So obviously, first off, we've got Colorado and Nashville. I was surprised how good Nashville was this year. They traded Ryan Ellis. Pretty sure, what's his name? Rene retired. Pekka Rinne retired. Um, that's not huge, but they just had a lot of turnover on their roster. And they were still really good. They also lost, I think, Yarncroke to the expansion draft, which was another like big loss to their roster. Um, so I was really impressed with Nashville and how they still kind of managed to squeak into the playoffs, which is impressive. So good for them. But they're playing the Avalanche. Avalanche are my Stanley Cup pick preseason, and I'm always going to ride with that. So I have Colorado in 5. I think the Avalanche are just absolutely disgusting, and there's Nashville's gonna have no answers for them. They might steal a game at home because their Nashville's fans are like so crazy, but who knows? Next up, we have Minnesota and St. Louis. Minnesota's been awesome this year. They finally have a star in Kirill Kaprizov, a best player who can carry them like somewhat deep into the playoffs. They also have reliable goaltending. No more Cam Talbot. And they've got Marc Andre, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to see him in the playoffs. And St. Louis also hasn't been that great this year. Nothing impressive. I hate Jordan Binnington. I think he sucks. Terrible in the playoffs. Besides for Stanley Cup, which sounds dumb. But I have Minnesota in 6. Moving on, Calgary is taking on Dallas. Calgary has been awesome this year. They are the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. One of the moves that they made that made their team a lot better was acquiring Tyler Toffoli at the trade deadline, which I really was a fan of. I think he had some playoff experience for them, certainly. And then to go on top of that, I mean, this is a statement year for Calgary. They always lose in the playoffs. They always lose and get memed on, and they're like, "Oh, your roster's not good enough," all that stuff. So this is a prove it year for Calgary, man. They really need to step up and, make a deep run in these playoffs so people can start believing in this team. And I know that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but the pressure's on for Calgary because I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, I think in the COVID year, they lost in the first round to, I think it was Nashville. Pretty sure it was Nashville. It may have been Dallas. I don't remember who it was, but Calgary was like the number 1 seed, and they lost in the first round. And it was like, whoa. I don't think it was Nashville. But yeah, that was bad. And so yeah, pressure's on for they lost the Avalanche. That's who it was. But pressure's on for Calgary. They're not historically good in the playoffs, and they really need to win at least 1 or 2 series. Moving on, we have a very interesting matchup in Edmonton and the Kings. I'm happy the Kings got into the playoffs. They made a lot of roster changes, changed up their team a lot. They also traded away Jack Campbell. That was a while ago. That was a very long time ago. But they got Philip Deneau over the offseason. They also got one more person who I can't remember who it is, and it's really bothering me. I think it was Arvidsson. They got Arvidsson, and they got someone else as well. But they improved their team, a marginal amount, and that really helped them out. They're in the playoffs, and they're taking on Edmonton, and to be honest, and you can crucify me for this, but I think any team matching up against Edmonton in the playoffs will take it. Edmonton has been a train wreck in the playoffs for a very long time, and that's highlighted by their abysmal goaltending that usually haunts them in the playoffs, whether it's Mike Smith or God, what's the other guy's name? The bald guy, Mikko Koskinen. I'm pretty sure they still have that same goaltending duo, and that's trouble. And it's going to hurt them down the stretch. And some people are like, oh, well, it's just because they don't play good enough defense or something, but you got to have good goaltending in the playoffs. And this is coming from a Canes fan. I mean, we had Mrazek for the last couple of years, and Mrazek is good, but you have to just have like elite goaltenders, or else you're not going to go very far. It's just so important. So um, I have Edmonton in 6 here, but I like the Kings as an upset here. I think I just don't trust Edmonton in the playoffs. So I definitely think they could get upset. Moving on, we've got Colorado and Minnesota. I think this will be a good series, but Colorado's still a lot better. After they got Kemper, I was like, all right, this team's gonna win the Stanley Cup. I think they're probably the best team in the NHL. So I think Colorado in 5 or 6 against Minnesota. Minnesota's good, but they're still not like cup contender type roster, in my opinion. Maybe they are, but Colorado's a terrible matchup for them, for anyone. And then we've got Calgary and Edmonton. Obviously, I'll take Calgary here. Markstrom's a pretty solid goaltender and a lot better than Koskinen in that duo that Edmonton has. I think the home field advantage, home ice will be nice for them. And again, don't trust Edmonton in the playoffs. So, I'll go with Calgary. Then I've got Colorado and Calgary. Obviously, I've got Colorado here, like I said, very high on them. I just don't see anyone getting in their way here in this playoffs. And then I've got Colorado over Tampa Bay for the Stanley Cup. So those are my predictions. I'm sorry I haven't been too involved prediction-wise for the NHL this year. Not much of an excuse. I just haven't really followed it. I've followed the NBA more, but I'm going to be really dialed in for the playoffs. So I'm excited for it. And let me know what you guys think. See ya.